Hello, my name is Sally Pinto, and I'm the program director for the Yonkers NORC, Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We are under the auspices of WJCS and the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We also have a resource specialist and a nurse on staff. We conduct virtual programming in partnership with the Yonkers Public Library on a daily basis. Enjoy the program.
You know that you would like to have a little extra support, you can grab some pillows and blankets if you haven't already, and just think about any props that you grab as just filling this space when we come into the postures. So let's start on our back today. And when you first arrive on your back, you can move around as much or as little as you need to just to start to arrive onto your mat today, arrive into the class. Maybe you're even reaching the arms up overhead and reaching the toes forward, taking a full body stretch. And then as you can move around as much as you need, just starting to find a place to settle. Just find a place to pause. So that might mean that your legs are out in front of you. It might mean that your feet are on the floor. It might mean that your hands are on your belly or by your side. Beginning to notice and check in with your breath today. Feeling the back of the head connect with the floor. Feeling the back body connect with the floor. Begin to observe if you're holding on anywhere today. Notice if there's any places of tension or tightness, or even just places where you can let go. Like when I came onto my back here, I was really trying to squeeze and engage all the muscles around my low back. And then now I'm just trying to invite a little bit of softness into it, so I can actually let go a little bit more there. Feeling the breath moving in and out. Let's invite a few more rounds of breath here. And it's okay if it feels like it's a little bit more challenging to let go today, or if you're noticing more places of tension in the body. We had off last week from class, and the weather has been going from really warm to really cold to really warm to really cold. So our bodies are continuously working to adjust. So just remembering to be kind. And taking the shapes however your body wants the shapes today.
Honey, taste the chili.
And just starting to wiggle the fingers and the toes just the tiniest bit. And allow the soles of the feet to start to come towards each other. And let the knees drop to the side, finding butterfly legs. So this is a great place to add some support, adding a pillow or a blanket underneath the knees. Knowing that, remembering that sensation is okay. But if you start to feel any pain, that's when you'll want to back up and modify and add more support. You can do anything you'd like with your arms here. You can even just rest one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And if as we continue to hold, you feel like you can release some of the props a little bit, or if you find that you're working too hard to stay in the position, add some props in. Sometimes we won't add support because we think that we'll be able to just relax into it, but it's okay if it's a little challenging today. So just continuing to add that support as you may need it. We'll find about 2 more full rounds of breath. So that's full inhale and full exhale 2 times. Slowly start to let the knees come all the way back up to the sky and let the feet rest on the floor. Invite a deep breath here. Deep inhale and exhale. And reach your right arm up overhead, just so that you can roll onto your right side.
So just coming into a fetal position, you can use your arm as a pillow or you can use the pillow as a pillow. Allow the weight to lift up off of the spine. Just one more breath here. Just taking a nice long transition pose. And slowly start to press yourself up. Bring yourself up, coming into a comfortable seat. So again, you can sit up on a blanket or a pillow. We're going to come back into that same shape with the legs. So back to that butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. It doesn't matter where the feet are in terms of close to you or further away. Go ahead and add any pillows or blankets underneath the thighs. And just allow your hands to rest on the legs, or they can rest on the floor in front of you. Find a place in the spine between finding length, so growing really tall, but then also a deep slouch. So finding somewhere in the middle. You can keep your head neutral and your gaze forward or close your eyes. Or you can allow the head to round, allow the chin to drop to your chest. I invite you to keep the gaze neutral if you've been on your phone a lot today, or reading, or just looking down. Just to give your head a new position. Allow the breath to flow. We're not necessarily trying to shift our breath in our yin practice. But we want to let it be however it needs to be to hold us in the shape. You are welcome to stay right here, or you can begin to hinge at the hips and roll and lean a little bit more forward. Moving nice and slowly until you find your sweet spot. Wherever your hands are, see if you can soften the grip just a little bit. And again, keeping that head either neutral or relaxed. And it doesn't mean that neutral is not relaxed. It's just different muscles working, different muscles releasing. Inviting a couple more rounds of breath here. And maybe even in these last couple rounds, challenge yourself to sink and release a little bit deeper. Last breath. And just starting to bring yourself all the way up nice and slow. If your head was relaxed to your chin, again, nice and slow to bring it up. And you can extend the legs out, shake it out. Since our knees have been bent this whole time already, let's come into a straddle. So let's take the legs wide. Adjust your pillow or blanket that you might be sitting on. If you're feeling extra tender in the backs of the legs, adding an extra support underneath the knees is really nice. Relax the feet. I like to shake them out just to remind me to let go. You can just gently bring your hands by your side or rest them on your legs. And again, finding that same thing that we found before when we were in that butterfly a few moments ago. So a little bit between a nice, really long, active spine and a really deep slouch. So just finding somewhere soft in the middle where you can kind of sink into. So before we go more forward this time, lengthen just a little bit through the spine. So lift out of that middle for a moment and just start to twist and rotate towards the right leg. So that rotation could literally be just your right hand coming to the outside of the leg and your left hand coming to the inside of the leg. It could be a little bit more. This last 2 breaths in this little twist, maybe play with taking it just a little deeper. Instead of untwisting, hinge at the hips here. So you still have a little twist towards the right leg, but now we're adding in a little fold. You can even rest your arms on the leg. Just your final breath here. And come all the way back up to that lifted spine and come back to the middle. Now, because we'll spend some time on the other side, you can add a little movement here. So maybe just kind of pointing and flexing the feet if you want to bend your knees for a moment. Feel free to do that. There's no right or wrong. Just listen to your body. What does it want? Then staying forward, find that happy middle between a little lift and a little round, a little slouch. And let's pause here before we twist to the other side. And then invite a little lift. And just start to find a little twist towards the left. Now, it doesn't matter how wide your straddle is. So that can also impact how far you're trying to go in the twist. you feel like you're trying to meet the leg and you're going too far, then just bring the leg in a little bit. Just making the pose more accessible for you today. And our last breath, staying upright in this twist. You can play with taking it just a little bit deeper. And then staying with that little rotation, just start to hinge at the hips. Your sides will likely feel different. It doesn't matter how far you go, just nice and slowly moving into a little bit more of a fold. Always bringing yourself back to your breath. A few more rounds of breath here. And slowly start to bring yourself up. Let's come all the way back to the middle. And again, anything you'd like here, any way you need to move. we'll all eventually meet with our feet on the floor. Turn and your hands behind you. So just putting a little bit of weight in your hands, if that's okay for a moment. And start to windshield wiper your knees. So we'll keep windshield wipering our knees and then eventually pause with them on the right side. You'll have to push off your hands a little bit to sit up. So now both of our knees are pointing towards the right. So we've got the outside of our right leg on the floor, the inside of our left leg. A great place for propping is underneath your hips. So sitting on a pillow, staying on that pillow, especially if you've been on one. Underneath the right knee, or even underneath the left knee. For me, that's kind of where I'm feeling it today. A little bit too much is underneath my left knee. So I have to kind of sit on my hands a little bit. Use my hands, sorry, to keep myself upright. But I want to feel as if I'm facing my left leg. This is my right leg, my right leg. Now I can stay upright, or I can fold a little bit over my right leg. Now that fold might be over my knee, and might be over my shin, maybe somewhere in the middle. I can always rest my hands on my arms on the leg. And this might feel a little awkward when you first arrive. It is a shape, I promise, but it's a new sensation. It's called deer. Don't know why, but it is. We're not going to stay here that long because we do want to shift to the other side. And the cool thing about a pose like this is that the best way to counter, so the best way to rinse out one side is to do the other side. Because the legs are focused on different things. Last breath here. Start to bring yourself up. Let the knees come back up to the sky. So you might have to shift the hips a little bit. And let's right away shift to the other side. So again, you can stay seated on a prop. You can place something underneath your either knee.
And you're, of course, always welcome to stay right here, or you can add a little fold. Doesn't matter where that fold is, might be over the knee or more over the shin or somewhere in the middle. Finding a place where you can breathe. And always feel free to play with where you place the props. You place one somewhere near, it feels good at first and then it doesn't. Don't feel like you have to keep it there. You can move it completely away or just place it in a different spot. Last full breath here. And slowly start to lift yourself up. Allow the knees to point back up to the sky. You can rock them out, just like that little windshield wiper, or you can just lengthen the legs out. Or anything else that your body is craving in this moment. Then we'll start to make our way all the way back onto our backs. But this time when we come to lay down, if it feels okay, just lengthen the legs long. So really releasing the front of our hips. We've had them kind of squished the whole class. So let's give them a little bit of breathing room. If it feels like you're having a hard time letting go in the hip area, you could try placing one foot on the floor. Actually, let's all do this. So let's place our right foot on the floor and leave the left leg out long. And just bring your arms out wide. It's okay if your hips are shifting a little bit one way or the other. But by bringing the attention to just releasing on the left side, you might find that it's a little easier to let go. Maybe, maybe not. Depends on what's going on in your body, in your low back, and in your hips today. Sending your breath to that hip flexor, to the front of your left hip. And nice and slow, just start to switch legs. So gently place the left foot on the floor. Allow the right leg to come long. And then if you're looking at me and you see my foot disappear, it's just because it's under the bookshelf. You might even notice switching from side to side that it's a little harder on one side than the other to soften and let go. And that's okay. Few more rounds of breath here, just a little while longer. Last breath here. Slowly start to let the left leg drop down to meet the right. You can even take your legs a little wider and bring your arms up a little higher. So think like you're a starfish. Just checking in with your body, how it feels. Really meeting this shape nice and slowly. Final round of breath here. Then just allow your arms to come by your side. You can let your legs come a little bit closer together. You can always add a little prop underneath the legs for a little added support, a little lift out of your low back. And as always, as we move into Shavasana, staying on your back is just not where your body wants to be today. You can always come up against a wall or even a chair and prop your feet and legs up on the chair. Or you can always come onto your side. Finding a place where you can really soften in for these last few moments of class today. Shavasana.
Just starting to bring some awareness back into the space. Starting to bring some awareness back into the body. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. And rolling out wrists and ankles. And gently rocking your head from side to side. Using the strength of your arms, beginning to press yourself up. Coming all the way back into a comfortable seat. And keeping your focus inside. Bringing your hands into your heart center, gently bow your head. And thank yourself for making it to your mat today, for your practice, for your energy, for your breath, and most importantly, for yourself. Namaste.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis and Barbara from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.